Good morning. This is Bob Bickle from Prime Philadelphia. I've had an opportunity to meet a very interesting gentleman, and on about two or three occasions, and I'm very impressed about what he has to say, not only about things that are happening in Philadelphia, but things that are happening in this entire country. And his name is Mustafa Majeed, and he was originally a New Yorker. He is now in Philadelphia, and he's an activist, and he's interesting. So without further ado, Mustafa,
I'm delighted to be here.
I got to ask you a question. Is it really this bad in this country? Is it? Where are we?
Well, right now, you know that what made America the greatest country on the planet Earth was because of their industrial powers.
Right.
Now America has lost their industrial powers. And I see that the people here in America is looking for jobs. They can't even find a job now. They have lost the economics of America. Now the American dollar is not even worth 2 cents. There are certain countries that won't even take America dollars because it's worthless. And the American people don't have some of them, I will say the majority of them, don't have the slightest idea that we are in a obsession or we are in a depression, I'm saying, right now in this country. And it's just a matter of time before we drown in all of the problems that we have here in America, that the people will revolt in fighting. And right now you see so much bloodshed that's all over America that is uncontrollable now. And I find that as far as the gun violence, is all over. It's not. It used to be in the ghetto, in the poor neighborhoods throughout America. Now it's all over in the small towns where children have mental problems that either the parents is not paying attention, and when you look around, those same children, they kill their mother or their father, and then they go to the school where they attended, and they kill up all of the students, the principal, the psychiatrist, everything. So it's just mass confusion right now, as you already know, Bob.
Well, I know it just living in Philadelphia, and it's almost a daily thing when you see a murder on the news. And I submit to you that we've become a tad desensitized. Then that's a problem too. But I got to ask you, how do the guns get into Philadelphia? How does that happen?
Well, the police commissioner of Philadelphia, you would say, right now, I've had several meetings with him, and I told him and all of his deputy commissioners, I said, Philadelphia don't manufacture guns or bullets. I said, but they are slipping in Philadelphia late hours of the night. Y'all tell me that y'all can't detect who's bringing the guns in and the bullets in. But every time you look around, there's mass murder going on in Philadelphia. Here, Philadelphia is a smaller city than New York, but they have more homicides in Philadelphia than New York. I mean, how do you explain that?
You can't.
The politicians, they're not really doing what they should do. And the laws in Philadelphia, you just can't keep locking up people. That's one thing. Locking them up is not going to solve the problem with the guns and the bullets. So I see that that's a major problem. And on my radio show, I talk about gun violence and home invasions, lying, cheating, robbing, everything that you can think of that is destroying. And then you find that the people that live in some of the bad neighborhoods, they have grown accustomed. They don't even fight back. They figure that this is the way that we are living and we're just going to have to accept it. And that means that they have been brainwashed over the years to accept raping, robbing, stealing, and I don't see the mayor, Nutter, is doing anything to change that sickness. And the politicians, the same thing. I have told a lot of them, I said, if we're going to demonstrate and raise some hell or change the conditions of the people, why do you always want to come out during the daytime at 12 o'clock and let everybody's, what about going out at night? You know, I'm talking about graveyard hours, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the demons and the gunslingers come out of their home. Why not greet them when they come out? They know the places that they live. They all have dwelling places where they live. I said they're like vampires. Only thing you have to do is go to where they rest their head at and deal with it. But a lot of the religious people are scared to go and confront them. So therefore, everybody locks up their doors and their windows and keep their children inside.
In other words, enough is enough.
That's right. Enough is enough.
And that is your mantra, so to speak.
That's right. That's what I say every time. Every Tuesday from 3 to 5 p.m., that's what I'm preaching. Enough is enough, but do more than that. Let's get out and do it. Because, see, most people talk about it, but they do nothing. So my slogan is, don't just talk about it, be about it. You know, get out there and show that you say that you believe in God, but yet you're scared to come out your house. You say that you are God-fearing. All that sounds good. But why you got all your doors and windows locked up, even in the summertime when it's hot, you in your home suffocating. And then when you put your air conditioner on, it gets too cold. But when you leave those windows open, you look around, you got all kind of thieves and people coming into your windows. What is creating all of this madness? And it's all over America. It's just not in Pennsylvania. It's in Chicago, New York. You know, it's all over. And the children have no more respect for the adults. Why? Because they can't get jobs. And you can tell an old man to wait, and they'll wait. But you can't tell young adults to wait. They're going out and getting it one way or the other. And this is what we have to deal with now. So if you don't want to be a leader, if you don't want to be a consultant on talking to these young adults, and you're going to walk on the other side of the street because you don't want to stay on the same side that they're on, you are letting them know, yes, I'm scared of you. And that's why I'm walking on the other side. Now, what kind of human being are you when you allow this to happen? You letting them know that you're scared of them. Now they have no respect for mother, father, or for their grandparents. So now they're out of hand. How do you get them back in hand? Well, we call the police. And what does the police do? Lock them up for a matter of time. And then when they're let out, they learn so much while they are in prison. But now when they're let out, now they're much more smarter now. They know how to do all kind of crime and vicious things. I mean, just turn your radio on. Here, a man slashed a young girl, robbing her, and when the judge asked him, do you want to apologize for what you did? He looked the judge right in the face and said, no, I did what I did. Now, what kind of human being is that? What kind of punishment or sentence would you give him? He didn't kill her, but he took and slashed her face. That's what you call an insensitive human being, almost like a savage. What is he doing walking the street with that kind of mentality? It's frightening just to think about it. But you got to confront wickedness, because if you don't confront it, it will confront you, day or night. So yes, that's why I say enough is enough. And then the racism that's running rampant through America. America know from the time that they put black people in slavery that this was going to be a disaster. Because what does it do? It destroys the fabric of society. You can't preach about family when you enslave another family don't even make sense. I don't believe in capital punishment. If someone kills someone, someone hurts someone very badly, you lock them up and you take away their rights and say, for the next 50 years, you're going to be incarcerated. But once you execute them, then that is revenge. That's what America is showing you. Okay, you killed him, now we're going to kill you. That's revenge. And I don't believe in that. So if you do preventive measures where you treat a human being like a human being, then he know what his responsibilities are. But if you treat him like an animal, and then he act like an animal, now you want to lock him up. That's not justice. So the founding fathers knew what they was doing was going to be a disaster 100 years from now, 200 years from now, 300 years from now. Now we all rocking in the boat of America. We can't get jobs. We are in a depression. We are going through all of these problems. So that means that black, white, yellow, green, pink, all of us got to come together and rebuild the industry of America. The economy of America is right now drowning. So we got to come together as brothers and sisters, as those who say, I believe in God, whatever God you want to call it. But we got to come together to restore the humanistic righteousness of people where we all can, live and let live. I got neighbors in my neighborhood that's right next to me. I got an Italian family across the street from me. I got a Korean family on the other side and back of me. I got another Irish family. And, you live with your neighbors more so than your immediate family that live maybe in other states because you see your neighbors every day. I have my Italian neighbors. They have 2 children, 7 and 5. And one time the boy was out. The babysitter's supposed to be taking care of him. And I saw him in the middle of the street looking at a truck. So I know that his father had a truck, but it wasn't the same color. So I looked over, I said, Dominic, what are you doing? Dominic looked over, looked at me, walked across the street, and jumped in my arms. I said, Dominic, what are you doing out here by yourself? So I seen a cop on the street giving somebody a ticket. I said, officer, excuse me. I said, forget about giving somebody a ticket. This child was standing in the middle of the street. They got dogs on their property. I don't know if the dogs will bite me or whatever, but I think that you need to investigate this. So he told the person they were about to give a ticket to, he said, go ahead. So we walked back to the house. While we walked back to the house, the babysitter is coming out. He said, where was you at? Oh, he said, well, I just stepped in the house for a minute. He said, no, you couldn't have no minute, okay? Already 3 minutes that went past already. So to make a long story short, when the mother came home, she said the police had called her and told her that, the incident. And she said, is this the first time that you had to pick my son up or while he was out in the street? I said, well, truthfully, I said, no. I said, it was another time that he crossed the street, he saw me, and he came and jumped in my arms. And your husband, whatever he was doing, he took his eyes off his son, maybe a half a minute, whatever it was. But when you get children like that, you got to watch them. So now, me and my neighbor is very close. His daughter, his son, jumps up in my arms. I mean, they just love me. They said, Mustafa, you going to play with us today? You want to come over and have breakfast? So this is the kind of relationship you get when you are dealing with people from different nationalities, different religions. This is what you call human, being human when you are dealing with people that live next to you. And this is how you have a decent, balanced society. Racism destroys the fabric of any society. So this is why when you feel that you've been brought up one way to think this way or to think that way, when you get older as you when you was a child, you thought as a child. Now you're a man, you got to think as a man or a woman. And this is the responsibilities of every human being. When you see problems like that, it may not be your problem, but sometimes you have to get involved with the problem. And it just makes you a better human being. So during my life, I have been fighting, you know what I'm saying, for injustice for over 25 years. Does it bother me? Yes. One time I used to think like other people think, well, I ain't got nothing to do with it, so I'm not getting involved. No. There's times that God is going to put you back up against the wall, and you're going to have to get involved. You're going to have to do the right thing. You're going to have to even go against people that is of your family that have done something wrong. And you got to stand for right, and you can't stand for wrong. As simple as that.
In other words, enough becomes enough.
That's right. Enough is enough. You know, it's a blessed thing when you see that other people have the same problems that you have, and that because I had one of my Irish brothers who is an electrician, and he's in the union. He had to go to China last summer. He had to stay there for a year because there was no work for the electricians in Philadelphia. So his particular corporation made a deal with China to do some work there. So he asked me, Mustafa, can you just watch over my wife and my daughter and son? Now his son is 25 years old. Certainly, you know, at that age, you know, you can expect anything. Anyway, his son started acting because he got some young girl pregnant, so he felt that he was a man, and he told his mother that he's moving out and he's going to take all his furnitures and that. So the mother called me, you know, and I went over there and I told him, I said, now, if you feel that you've grown enough that you want to leave, fine. You leave, but you're not taking the bed. Did you buy that bed? Did you buy that dresser? He looked at me. I said, you know your father told me to watch over all of y'all. He said, yeah, I know. I said, so well, you're not taking nothing. I said, you know what that means. So anyway, another time, they called the police on him. So when I got there was the grandparents, and the grandparents said, that's not my grandson because he disrespected me and this and that. So when the police got there, they looked at me. They said, well, I know why you here. I said, oh, yeah, definitely. I'm here because I'm going to whip some behind, and it's going to be his behind. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to disrespect his grandparents and his mother. He's not doing that. He's 22 years old. He's not going to do that. Not when I'm here. So everything resolved, and now he's like 23, 24. Oh, he's the man now. Oh, he takes care of his young daughter was just born, and he told me, he said, Mustafa, you know, you had right to, you know, be ready to jump on me because I was out of control. But how many neighbors feel that they should do that? But if you're scared of the youth, you're not going to do that. But if you was brought up like me, they say it takes a village to raise one child. But what happened to the villages now? There is no village. Everybody out there is scared, don't want to get involved, don't even want to look at it. Keep on walking. So this is why the society is like this, because we are scared of our youth today, and America is drowning, and nobody wants to rebuild the industrial part that America had that made them powerful, the economics that's drowning in America. So that means I don't care what nationality you are. If you ain't got no food on your table and you Irish, and I ain't got no food on my table and I'm Jewish, we got a problem. So that means that I'm looking for every intelligent person from every nationality, because I'm trying to build a movement to bring people together, so therefore we won't have to suffer. And we don't have to wait for the last time or the last notion to find out that America has fell and we don't have no food, we ain't got no jobs, which is right now is happening. We need to start getting the most brilliant brains that we got from every nationality and start to build America and bring back the fiber and bring back what we need to make jobs for everybody. America is too great to fall like this, and we stand around still looking for somebody else to solve our problems. No, we have to solve our own problems. England got their problems. China got their problems. But if you look at how disciplined China is, everybody eat together, everybody pray together, everybody work together. I mean, look at them. And how did America get in a position where they owe China trillions of dollars? America can't even pay on the interest. That's how bad it is. It's a disaster.
I hope it's going to get better, and I give you a lot of credit. And I told my audience you'd be interesting, and frankly speaking, you are. So,
But if we don't do nothing about it, it gets worse. Okay, that's that's the problem right now. It gets worse. So I'm looking to call out people who are in this industry, who have knowledge and wisdom, who know how to put together, I'm saying, to restore the industrial part of America, so we can survive and keep it going for our children. Other than that, we're gonna drown.
I hope not. But you sound like you're ready. So
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready like Freddie.
it was great speaking with you.
Well, God bless us and bless America and bless all of the nationalities in America. And let's do something about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's do something about it. Not tomorrow. I mean right now. Call in. Say you want to be a part of this new thinking that we need to save one another right now and get away from the racism and all of this other foolishness. Okay, let's be adults. Let's just say each one teach one. Let's help one another and live and let live. And God will bless you in everything that you do that's right.